was something exciting because everybody was ready for the gun, but this was a different gun. Always finish what you start.
Good evening to you. Once again, it's time for Visionaries Lounge. You know, the role of the arts industry in South Africa's liberation is often underestimated. But the fact is, musicians and the like played a pivotal part in our emancipation. My guest this evening was at the forefront. He is a legendary trombonist and also an activist, if I can say that. It's a huge pleasure to welcome Obaba Musa, Jonas Gwangwa. I'm being a little bit cheeky because I know only those who are really close to you call you Musa, and those you grew up with. But perhaps let's start there. Talk to me about your upbringing.
Well, I was born in Orlando East, now falling under what the name Soweto, some time back, 1937 to be exact.
Wow.
That's where I grew up.
With mom and dad?
With mom and dad and my sisters. I had two elder sisters that I grew up with. Went to school, St. Mary's, Orlando, primary, and then from there on went to St. Peter's Secondary School in Rosettenville.
What were you like as a child? Introvert, extrovert?
I would think it was more introvert, or rather introvert later. Yeah, I think I was more of an extrovert as a young person. I don't know when people change and when that happens and how it happens.
Were you always musical? What sort of activities did you take part in as a child?
Yeah, well, there was always music in the house because my sister was a concert pianist, actually. You know, she started studying the piano at the age of 12. And we used to all sing as a family. You know those ancient and modern hymn books of the Anglican Church. Yeah, and they had tonic solfa. I was taught tonic solfa by my mother. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
And where did you learn that? Were there like music clubs in the location, etc.? Because to learn an instrument, trombone, whatever wind instrument, even the piano, actually, it takes skill, it takes commitment, it takes someone to actually teach you. How did you get that?
You see, my sister had some gentleman that always came to give her lessons, Tatu Chow. Because in those days, people did not have all the fancy gramophones, record players and things like that. It was just gramophones, actually. It was just gramophones. And a lot of people did have pianos, around that time. And people used to carry sheet music because a lot of people were reading music.
Wow.
Yeah.
I believe you were the first black South African to actually record an album.
Yeah, an LP, yes. We were the first with Jazz Epistle, which was Kipi Mweketi, Deola Brand, who's Ibrahim, Makaya and Chogo, who's still in Switzerland. Kipi Mweketi, I say, you and I. Well, my music was influenced when I Dibu Marabi, Bao, Bukwela, Bumbakanga, Wotsabataba, because this is what one heard over Salat. We're making our own hits. This one is going to play for a long time, because we didn't have all those hit things at the time.
You know, it sounds like such a dichotomy because it was beautiful musically on the one hand, but extremely turbulent politically on the other.
Exactly.
How did you deal with that?
Well, the songs that were written, some of them got banned, Yeah, like there was a song, Usizi Lomdomnyama, and the guys would play. I remember after the Sharpeville massacre, they were playing that thing so much, that song, that the guys actually got arrested, Western Linkosi, Gideon Numalo, all those guys who were working at the SABC, doing music.
Talk to me about your role in the liberation movement.
My role, I was given my trombone, my very first trombone by Father Huddleston, who was a heavy activist, political activist, involved with the Sophiatown removals and all of that. He came to St. Peter's as a rector, and he gave me my first trombone. So already aligning us somehow with politics,
you're khabuling a little bit
there, because he gave me an instrument, gave you an instrument first, gave me, and other guys started asking, at the school, we formed a band. We were sitting out there saying, what shall we call this band? Because it became a big band, you see. I came up with the Huddleston Jazz Band, the AJB, And Huddleston Jazz Band was then invited in 1955 to Kliptown, the drawing of the Freedom Church.
Oh, wow.
That's where we were really baptized.
I'm actually going to interrupt you right here on this cliffhanger, because I understand things got better, things got worse. I want to speak to you about that journey even more, and also talk to you a little bit about what you're up to today. So let's leave it on that note. It means that you will be forced to join us to hear what happens next. Stay with us. Welcome back, and thank you once again for joining us. Tonight we're joined by critically acclaimed and world-renowned jazz icon Jonas Gwangwa. Baba Jonas, a little bit earlier you spoke to us about your growth as a musician and how you learned from the very best growing up. And you spoke to us a little bit about politics and how it was infused in your music. Let's talk now about your travels and how you went literally all over the world. And singing, or not singing at least, but playing your trombone.
I had gotten my trombone from Huddleston, like I told you, and went to Angola. But before I went to Angola, like I was saying to you, I asked myself, why did they call me? But I had been to a festival in 1977 in Nigeria, Festac, Festival of All Blacks and Third World Countries. Festac was the Festival of Arts and Culture, where we had all these African countries, and up to, let me say, all blacks, like it said, all blacks and third world, the Papua New Guinea people, everywhere, And this was a big festival, so we got there as ANC cadres because there were liberation movements were invited, PAC also, I think. We had to decide on the show what's going to happen. Some other guys said, well, we've done this, and then we go, others will go there, and others will go there in various parts, various halls, and I said, hey, this is big.
Yeah.
This is big, comrades. I don't think this is going to work. I think if we got together and build, build one show, and hey, we don't know each other. Culture,
politics.
Yeah, politics getting into it. And then somebody sneaked out and went to the chief rep, ANC chief rep in Nigeria, which was Comrade Thabo Mbeki at the time.
Yes.
And he came back and said, Comrade, Gwangwa is right. I think if you made one show, you'd be able to take it around. Gwangwa, you are on.
Yes. Now you must make a plan because you're spearheading it now.
Show.
Yes.
But I directed the show. It was very successful. We called ourselves Amandla at the time. That's where that name started from.
Amandla Cultural Ensemble, that was the ANC's theatre company that you started.
Yeah.
And you took that around the world, basically.
We took that around the world, and it was very, very successful.
Yes.
It went for about 12 years, I think, 11, 12 years.
Right.
Yeah, telling the story of South Africa, the struggle, the developments, and the unfolding struggle, hitting on the highlights, like the formation of the ANC, the writing of the Freedom Charter, the formation of Mkonto, the women's struggle to Pretoria, the march. All sorts of things, That was the reason why I was called to Angola to go and help the group,
MK soldiers.
The MK soldiers, who had also adopted the name Amanda, called themselves Amanda. Then I saw the talent and then formulated this musical. You see,
ensemble that was there. Yes.
Yeah, with all those talented comrades. Some of them had been professionals. They had been playing bass and guitars and
some of them were
drums.
raw still and needed a lot of guidance.
Yeah. And named it Amandla Cultural Ensemble with the acronym ACE. That was an idea that was Oliver Tambo's idea of having the music in the army, in the MK army.
And what did it do for the psyche of the soldiers and also of those who are left behind in South Africa and other parts?
Yeah, it was something exciting because everybody was ready for the gun, but this was a different gun, you see.
This was a different gun.
Yeah. Oh. So we went on tour. That's when I got my second accident.
Let's speak a little bit about that, because throughout your travels, you had a car accident in the US, another accident, I believe, in London, if I'm not mistaken, in various parts of the continent, all focused on your, right leg?
My right leg.
That caused the limp that you
It was New York.
Yes.
And the Cross Bronx Expressway. And then the second one was Angola.
Yeah.
I was pedestrian out there in Angola. I was a passenger, and then the third one was here at home.
Oh, here at home, yeah.
Yeah.
And at what point does Cry Freedom and King Kong, at what points do those pieces of art to which you have been critically acclaimed and world renowned for, when do they come into the picture?
Well, I left the country with King Kong. King Kong was the first big musical that we had here at home. So I was in the orchestra pit and left with the show to London. Then came the Cry Freedom. Whilst we were touring in London, I met Dali Tambo, who said, "Oh, you got to do the music." I said, "What for?" He says, "There's a film. I'm going to talk to Dickie." And auditioned with various other musicians, Prophet Stevie Wonder, one of them. And I was chosen to do the score. And of course, we're nominated twice for the Oscar, Best Score, Best Theme Song, the BAFTA, the Hollywood Golden Globe, the Anthony Asquith Award, won the Ivor Novello Award and the Black Emmy Award, you know, and came back home. After we got abroad, you know, when we were in England, I said, aha, school.
Yes, don't forget.
Yeah,
yes.
School now.
Oh, wow.
School. Yeah. So the African Music and Drama Association, which was also in Doke House. Yeah, it started off in Doke House. Yeah, they actually sent me to school, to the Manhattan School of Music in New York.
I've thoroughly enjoyed the trip down memory lane, but when we come back, I want to focus on what you're up to and what the future has in store for you, because I can still see that you're a young man full of energy and life still. I want to know what you're working on and what we can expect from you going forward. I know that you're still performing, so we'll hear from you regarding that as well. Do stay with us. Beautiful. Masipinde sinamkele futhi tonight Dr. Jonas Gwangwa serenading us, and we're joined by the trombone. I think for any musician, the instrument is one of the most prized possessions. Do you have a name for her? Do you personify the instrument at all?
No. I don't have a name for her. Yeah. I just call it me.
Me? Okay, so me is joining us now. Me. This is your heart.
Yeah, this is me.
Absolutely beautiful. What are you and me up to these days?
Well, I've been putting me away a little bit because I've been rehearsing Amandla Cultural Ensemble. Yes. Amandla has been around the world. Amandla Cultural Ensemble has been almost about 40 countries. You know, and per country, you don't do anything less than 10 shows, you know.
The nominees: Jonas Gwangwa, Mirriam Makeba. The winner is Jonas Gwangwa.
I'm greatly honored to be here today to receive this award. I'm also greatly humbled by the fact that this accolade is emerging from a grassroots cultural wellspring. You have no idea just how significant this is for me.
What sort of legacy do you want to leave behind once you're done with the whole music scene and you decide that I finally want to rest and retire and enjoy my old age?
I would love to see more artists really getting involved in things like this, you know, getting involved in the country and getting recognized within the country as artists, not just Radikatar.
Yeah.
You know, that artists do a very important job all the time. I've been nominated for and even won Oscars, Grammys, Golden Globe Awards, the Emmy Awards, and of course South African Artist Award. But no ceremony or event has been as moving as this one today. O.R. Tambo had said it that we'd been here for 20-somewhat years and everything, trying to talk to the international community about our struggle. But here Amanda does it in 2 hours, you know, because all kinds of people came and they would ask, what is this? Say, no, this is life in South Africa. This is what is happening. This is what apartheid is. And then they would ask their governments, what are we doing?
Wow.
You know, in South Africa. That's how governments got involved.
Through art?
Yes, through art. Through art, because we're talking about the life of the people. You know, we're putting that on stage, you know.
I want to talk about you as a person now, outside of your profession. You spoke to me about how your siblings passed away at a very, very young age. And how your mother was so fearful when you were 20-odd years old, because that was round about when your sisters and had passed away. But I want to know, for you personally, as Jonas Gwangwa, what are you afraid of?
Man.
Nothing comes to mind.
Nothing comes to
mind. I think it speaks about your tenacity and your will to just achieve your dreams. I think that's very important.
Yeah.
So maybe let's rephrase the question and say, what are you most looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to my children growing up and doing what they are good at, you know, because, you know, I had thought about being a scientist and an inventor. I remember the headmaster at school asking me, what do you want to be? I said, I want to be an inventor. I said, he actually even said, inventors are very poor people. I said, no. But, you know, but here I am now inventing songs, you see. That's what it is, you know. But my children do various things. I want to see them grow. I want to see them grow. Today I'm being acknowledged at home, approved by my own people, embraced by my own culture.
Do you still write? Have you got a few songs waiting in the sidelines?
All the time.
All the time.
All the time.
It's what you do.
That's it. That's
as a great
life.
Musical inventor.
Yeah, the inventor.
It's been a huge pleasure having you with us this evening. Thank you so much for the work that you have done for the country and what you continue to do as well.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. And we appreciate you for having joined us. Thank you so much for your time. Have a good evening. Good night.
Always try to finish whatever you start. It could be a song, could be a dance, could be a book,